The denial by state security agencies of any involvement with the recent spate of abductions of 3 men has been met with fierce rejection by the public. And one would ask, who would blame them? After all, abductions carried out by police officers early this year have marred the image of the country's security agencies and the state of human rights. Tonight, we revisit the brutality witnessed during the protests, flanked by injuries, abductions, and citizens who are still missing to date. Security agencies accused of pronouncing themselves as judge, jury, and executioner during the historic anti-finance bill protests have been criticized for the excesses used during the protests and even in the aftermath. NTV's senior crimes and investigative reporter Gina Kirori with the details.
In this CCTV footage, a man suspected to be a plainclothes police officer is seen firing live rounds of ammunition at this group of people, running away in a frenzy of fear and panic. One of these bullets is believed to be the one that felled 29-year-old Rex Masai, who would become the first casualty of the protests on the night of 20th June 2024. A night of tragedy, as police were accused of playing Russian roulette with the lives of citizens. Here are the tales of their survival. On the surface, it may have appeared to be sporadic, but for others, it had been a long time coming. Anger, dissent, and courage to exercise their democratic right would bring citizens into the streets on 20th of June 2024. One of these people was 29-year-old Rex Masai, a casino worker, whose family describes as a young go-getter who was brimming with discipline. Crispin Odawa, Rex's father, narrates the reflections he has since the dark month of June when Rex's life was snuffed out by a bullet.
Depression imekuwa mingi zaidi. Mostly kwa mama Rex imekuwa depressed sana. So ni mtu since then ni mtu tuma madawa because before alikuwa na pressure. So after hapo so ilipanda.
Crispin balances between a state of denial and acceptance as he still believes that his son will call him for one of their routine wholesome conversations.
Kisika sana bila kumongenya mpaka nimsalimie. Ni aje bro tu kwa tunaitana son, dad. Fika pale tunaongea kama brothers. So say sometimes you fikiria labda atanipigia simu ambie dad nataka kuona.
Roy Maniki's story may have ended similar to Rex Masai's, as he nearly bled to death from injuries inflicted by a police baton. On 8th of August 2024, I was covering the anti-government protests when I saw him running away from a group of police officers. In minutes, a police officer struck him on the head with a baton. Roy is a survivor not just of the brutality witnessed on the day, but of the psychological trauma that was left behind by it. Just as Tyson Odhiambo, who used to work as a boda operator, he was catching drinks with some friends in Nairobi when he came face to face with a police officer who pointed a gun at him.
Na nilipotoka niliona askari akinipoint na risasi. Na after hapo nililala chini na kufuta kuamka, kumbe alikuwa amenitime bado. Akanigonga goti na mimi nikang'ang'ana na mguu mmoja nikakimbia, marafiki zangu wakaniokota, wakaniweka kwa motorbike wakanipeleka Amref. Na daktari akaniambia mguu yako kuna mawili, either ikatwe ama upone kwa imani ya Mwenyezi Mungu.
Luckily, doctors have found a way to save his leg from amputation. However, he had to stop his boda business and has been unable to find work since then. Then there are those who survived death during the protests but vanished without a trace. Joshua Okaya, the KSL president, that's Kenya School of Law, recalled how he was lured out of his home only to endure a torturous experience in the worst moments of his life.
Nimekuwa nikisikia pia habari kuna wengine wameuawa. Kwa hivyo mimi hata nashukuru Mungu walinitesa tu wakaniacha.
June 25th, 2024 would turn out to be historic as protesters broke through police barriers, gaining access into Parliament in a fatal clash that would leave nearly a dozen dead and scores of others injured as police fired live rounds of ammunition indiscriminately at the crowds. That same evening, President William Ruto addressed the nation, terming the day's events as treasonous, vowing a full and expeditious response to the protests. The response came in the form of a Gazette notice issued in the dead of the night by former Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale, declaring a national security emergency, leading to the deployment of troops from the Kenya Defence Forces into the Central Business District, a move which the Law Society of Kenya challenged through a petition in the High Court. 12-year-old Kennedy Onyango's tragic case captured the nation after 8 bullets were shot into the small frame of the young boy's body in Rongai. He succumbed to his injuries. While the government held that only investigations would show whether the bullets that killed him were fired from the gun of a police officer, it did not stop citizens from accusing the William Ruto-led government of insensitivity and excesses by police officers during the protests.
8 bullets into the body of a 12-year-old boy. What would you tell the mother of that boy?
That boy is alive, right?
For the family of Rex Masai, they were forced to relive the trauma after an officer accused of firing the gun that killed Rex appeared in court during the inquest into the death of the 29-year-old.
Naona kama haki itatendeka. Hiyo ndio maombi yangu, haki itendeke. Hiyo haki ikitendeka, Wakenya wote watafeel wako safe.
As the families that lost their loved ones continue to wallow in pain over the demise of their kin, families of the missing face the tough challenge of keeping the flame of hope alive that one day their kin will return home or that their questions will finally meet answers, as those who are wounded and maimed by the violence continue to seek justice. Ngina Kirori, NTV.